Alrighty, hello folks, this is David Van Tassell here from Film Combat Syndicate, and I'm here today with action filmmaker Jino Kang to chat with him about filmmaking, life, and his latest feature film, Fist to Fist 2, Weapon of Choice. Jino, thanks for joining us today. How's your year been so far?
Pretty good, pretty good. First of all, thank you for having me here, and this is great. Thanks for the opportunity. This year, yeah, it's just a lot of grind. We've been rewriting and rewriting our scripts, and it just seems like a never-ending cycle. And it just keeps going. We think we're done, and then I announce to the world, "Hey, yeah, we're done." And then all of a sudden, no, we're not done. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. And so it's a constant challenge. And so far this year, it's just been writing and rewriting. And I'll probably have a couple more meetings coming up in a couple weeks, and then go from there.
Okay, cool. Anything you can let us in on right now, or are you just we all staying hush hush?
I'm sorry.
Are we staying all hush hush with what we're working on, or are things in?
No. It's what we're working on right now is the Blade Fury's actual real follow up to Fist to Fist 2 Weapon of Choice.
Okay, cool.
The same hitman Jack. He's hiding out in a little town and trying to live a peaceful life, but when he's the worst of bank robbery, he gets his cover blown. And if you recall, Toshiro, the Yakuza boss who lost millions of dollars and with the purchase that he was going to make, and so he has a specific vengeance on Jack. So anyway, he finds him, and then he sends out an army of ninjas after him. And so Jack has to either decide he's going to run or he's going to stay and fight for his life and protect the people he has come to know and love. Yeah, so it should be fun, So
okay, cool. Yeah. Glad to hear it. Yeah, it's, that writing process could seem kind of never ending, and yeah, it's always fun when you finally get a script that you can work with and stuff. So,
okay.
Right. But yeah, so tell us a bit about your background in general. What initially drew you to martial arts and eventually filmmaking?
So the martial art was handed down to me by my father. He's a grandmaster in Hapkido. I was born in South Korea, near Seoul, in a little city called Incheon. And my father used to have a studio there. And, I was like 4 years old, and then I would just wake up at the martial arts school and with my gi on. And so it was just like an introduction. Hey. And then all of a sudden I see a bunch of people training, so I would just get up there and start training with them. And that's my earliest recollection. And from then on, I never looked back, and I just kept on training. And when we immigrated to the States in the 70s, when I was old enough, my father said, I think it's time to open up a school, and that's what we did. And then ever since then, I've been running a Hapkido and other different various martial arts schools in San Francisco now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And what eventually drew you, or when did you eventually wake up and say, you know what, I want to get into film?
Right. It's it didn't really dawn on me, but I was mesmerized by, just like everyone else, watching Bruce Lee films. And also, my father used to take me to samurai films too, like Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo, Sanjuro, Seven Samurai, and all that. And I fell in love with those films. But anyway, in junior high school in the States, we had a bunch of friends. We used to run around with 8mm film camera. I don't know if you remember those little things. Little cartridge. I think it records like 2 or 3 minutes of film. And we used to shoot, and then we would just do martial art sequences, right? And so, unfortunately, I can't find out any of them. we moved so many times. But anyway, I think that was the start of it. And then in the 80s, there was a tournament put on by Ron Marchini and Leo Fong. And I said, hey, you win this tournament, you can win a part in the movie. And so my friends encouraged me, so I did it, and I won. So that was the start of it. And after, being involved with the film, and I said, I could do this. I really want to do this. And so I enrolled in College of Marin, and I went there for 3 years and learned all the production stuff, crewing, how to write a script. And it was a really fun process, really fun time. And that's how it got me started. And once we finished the film, it was picked up right away, and it got distributed. And so I go, okay, I think I can do this. So
it's definitely a nice way to be received, with the film, someone picking it up and that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. Congrats.
Thank you.
What's the process? I mean, I know you said you were started by working on crew and you were learning how to work on scripts and stuff. And what's the process? The learning curve, was it difficult, or did you have any problems on the way, or?
I found that the hardest part was just trying to look for money, and that I thought that was the hardest part, getting people to agree with you and say, hey, I'm going to give you money for this film. But on a couple of films, I was fairly lucky enough that people just came together and then just said, hey, here's some money, and let's make this film. And so I was fairly knock on wood on that. So, and then the second hardest thing is obviously getting the right talent. Did you see Fist to Fist too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're working with SAG actors and so on, it's not easy, and you got to coordinate with multiple channels to get it right. And I thought that was the most challenging part. And SAG's not easy, because you got to really keep up with all their paperwork and all their demands and so on. And I thought that was very challenging. Yeah.
Alrighty. So you mentioned before about you're watching the samurai films, the Kurosawa and the Bruce Lee films, and just being entranced by them. Let's go ahead and jump forward to today. If we were to say look through your Netflix queue or video on demand or your current film collection, what would we see?
My Little Pony.
Okay, all right.
So the princess.
Me too.
Okay. Well, it's been hijacked by my little 7-year-old daughter, and so she knows how to work it, man. Bang! I turn on Netflix, and she's already connecting to Netflix, and then all her channels show up. So I have to scroll through and then find my stuff. But if you were to find my list, usually what you'll see is obviously other martial art films. Mm-hmm. Mostly action films.
Okay.
I usually try to watch all of them. Mm-hmm. I like Scott Adkins films. I like Michael Jai White films, JCVD films. Mm-hmm. Whenever he comes out with a new one, right? And so I follow all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also like Korean crime dramas. Mm-hmm. I think they're really well made, and I follow that as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I think after watching Fist to Fist too, I can see a little bit of that influence just kind of in your film and stuff, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Alrighty, so back to Fist to Fist. So why don't you just tell us about the first one, and then what exactly inspired you to make a sequel?
Okay, so are you talking about Fist to Fist, and then
yeah. I mean, just the process to make Fist to Fist, because I know they're not the stories aren't related; they're just a sequel in name only. But I mean, what inspired you to make the first Fist to Fist, and then what inspired you to make this sequel that's in name only?
Got it. So after Blade Warrior, several years later, I was busy running my school, and several talents showed up at my school. It's kind of incredible, really. So I had a co-producer, I had a line producer, and all these people start wanting to, hey, I saw your film. I think we could do another film. Hey, why don't you write another script? And so I said, hey, you know what? I always wanted to make a MMA film, cage fighting film, and I think that's the future. And and UFC was really starting to get popular then. And so I said, yeah, let's do this. And so a year later, I had a script, and I had all the right people together. And then people wanted to contribute money, and so I said, all right, let's do this. And so so a year, but it was a long process because everyone's a working professional, but we shot on weekends, and so that was really rough, shooting every weekend, and except for when we had the SAG actors lined up, so we had to shoot them out. So we shot them over a week to 2 weeks, and then after that, it was all done, and then it took another year to edit. Long process, and then once that was done, we took it to Action on Film Festival, and we won Best Martial Arts Action Feature, and from then on, it was just picked up right away, and that went everywhere. It went to Redbox, it went to Netflix, it went to you name it, and it did pretty well. Yeah, pretty well. And then the weapon of choice was a few years later. Some other people came over from first production, Fist to Fist, and then they said, hey, we should do another movie, but it wasn't really a follow-up to Fist to Fist. You know what? And this time I said, I don't want to do an MMA movie because it seems to be saturated. So I want to do a Hitman movie. So I said, all right, well, let me write it. And so I just went in and did a story about a hitman and trying to rescue his niece from a nefarious boss. And then a friend, Tony Ergo, said, hey, you know what? Let me add a couple of things here and finish it up. I said, okay. So I wrote the first 70 pages, and he finished the next 30 pages. And then, boom, we had a script. And then, again, money came together fairly fast, and lots of talent, and everybody just in the local neighborhood, in the Bay Area, came together, and we finished it. And so that one, Weapon of Choice, it won Action Film of the Year, and we've been collecting numerous accolades from film reviewers and so on. So I feel very lucky.
Okay, cool. And then one of the cool things about the movie is that you're not just producing it or writing it and directing it. You're also the star of the show.
Yes.
What fascinates you the most about the character you're playing there?
Are you talking about like being a director or wearing a producer's hat, or?
Actually, let's stick on the acting hat right now. So, like, what did you like most about that character? What did you like playing about that character? Were you maybe drawing some influence from any other like action movie heroes or whatnot?
Right. First of all, I'm gonna have to admit my range is pretty limited. Mm-hmm. So I won't be able to do romantic dramas or anything like that. So I knew I had to, yeah. So write the character within my limits, and that was the key. And from then on, I did emulate some of the Korean films and some of the characters from there. Like the old boy character. And a bunch of different. It doesn't come to mind right at the moment, but I take the same flavor. Very stoic, strong character who has a mission and he has to take care of the mission. And I just went out from there. But I, like anybody, any actor, I study acting. So whenever there's a scene coming up, I will, get down there and study and study and study, get the part right. So that's how the acting goes on. So,
yeah. Now we're going to switch over to the producer director hat. Were there any hurdles that you encountered making the film? And I mean, if so, how did you work through those problems?
Okay. So I like to collaborate because I'm doing so many things, and so I don't mind having co-producers, and I don't mind having co-directors, and so on. And I thought that worked really well for me, and I plan to do that in the future too, unless I'm stuck. Okay, I'm just going to direct, and that's fine by me too. Mm-hmm. But finding locations for me was really hard. Especially when you have on your limited budget, you lock a place down, and they say, "Oh, they want more money," or "Oh, this place is not available now." Hey, this is not the kind of film that we want to shoot here. We want you to shoot here. So it was like a lot of different things that come in the way, But eventually, when you're in a time crunch and you're trying to shoot out 30-day shoot. It's tough, and I thought, and not only that, you got to get all the actors, their availability, right, and then you got to get the crew, and then you got to get the locations, and you got to get all the props, wardrobe. So there's so many variables. It's a miracle when this film is done. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
crazy amount of work.
Yeah, there's always a ton of moving parts. You got to coordinate all that and make sure they work in sync. And yeah, it's chaos. But sounds like you had a good team though working with.
Yes.
And you said before that some of these people were people that you've worked with before. And did you pull any new talent or anything to kind of help with like the producing end of things, or were you sticking to the same core group?
No, it seems like people move on and different things happen. But so let's say for Christine Lamb, she was a line producer for Fist to Fist, and then she wanted to at the end she couldn't do it in the beginning, but at the end she helped us with all the warehouse fight scenes. So that was crucial in getting her for that. But then I had a different line producer for the other parts of the film. And then Tony was the editor for Fist to Fist too. And then he's also a terrific writer, and so he came over and he edited. He co-wrote and co-directed Weapon of Choice, and he also edited the film as well, and I edited the fight scenes. So we, this is a synergistic relationship. Yeah.
All right, and then on the flip side of things, obviously no one does this, everyone usually wants to do this sort of thing because it's fun. No one. I don't really think any filmmaker makes films because and doesn't like it. That's the cool thing about filmmaking. But so like, what were some enjoyable, funny moments for you with producing Fist to Fist 2?
Well, it wasn't funny at the time, but if I think about it, there was this one set we secured, and I had everybody there. I had at least 100 people, 50 extras, and all the talents were there, and I had to fly people in from New Jersey. That's where Bill Duff was living, and then so I had all these people in one location, and then all of a sudden I get a tap on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, I don't think we can shoot here anymore." And we were like, we haven't even shot yet. We were just setting up the cameras and all that. And then he goes, and I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, I said, "I thought you got clearance and you're the boss, right? Yeah. What happened?" Then he goes, "Oh, I am the supervisor for this location, and I had the final say and all that. But my boss's boss somehow found out about it." I said, "You didn't clear with your boss's boss?" And so we actually got shut down.
Oh.
And so, yeah, so I had to cancel everything, right? In And so at that point, I go, oh my gosh, we're done. Because that weekend, just that weekend, would cost us like $25,000. Just that weekend. Yeah, it's okay, we're done. And then the core group, the same night, got together, and the investors and so on. They said, you know what, we believe in you. And a good friend of mine, Philip Lee, said, you can use my studio, but at a low cost. And then all of a sudden, some of the friends jumped in and said, you know what, yeah, I can invest some more money, and I can invest some more money. And so at that point, I'm going, oh, okay, maybe we can do something here. And so it turns out, it turned out better because the location we were shooting wasn't as glamorous as the final location. So the studio turned out to be a better location, and we were actually able to build a set, and we ended up having more money. And so we built the cage, we built that whole basement scene, the whole set was built. And we had everybody back, and we had more time to shoot, and so it turned out better. So now I can laugh about it. But back then, boy, it was not fun. But it's fun now, right? Because it turned out to be better, right? Yeah. So sometimes it happens for a reason.
Yeah, no, that's definitely seems like the gods of filmmaking were definitely shining upon you.
Yes, it's amazing what is filmmaking is. Just amazing, yeah.
It's crazy how quickly things can kind of go downhill and then go back uphill and all that stuff. That's really cool. Glad it turned out well for you and you could laugh on it and stuff.
Thanks for asking, because I never told this to anybody.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, now the internet's gonna know.
Yeah.
All right. So more broadly. What's your favorite part about the filmmaking process? Just in general, or just just the whole dual producer director thing. Do you like one of those sides better than the other? I know you mentioned that you'd be down just to be a solo director on something. Do you obviously both jobs have their own challenges and whatnot, but do you prefer one or the other, or?
I do like being in front of camera, because I imagine all the shots, and I imagine I can't always get the shots that I want, but I'm talking about just the fight scenes, and some of the images that is created is when it just like happens, because this is how it's going to happen, and so you choreograph everything, and it comes together. That's my favorite part, when you're shooting it, and then you jump. Before you couldn't see it when we were shooting film, and now it's digital, so it's instant gratification. So, okay, was that good? I don't know. We got sent the film to the lab. Yeah. But it's not like that. So we would just boom run back to the tech and look at the image right away and go, oh, let's do it again. So, but anyway, when you shoot something the way you imagined it and it comes out right, and that's the happiest thing for me. And also the editing process, when it's done, all the little pieces just come together and just go, wow, look at that, look at the sequence, look how it's working. So when all that comes together, I'm the happiest camper at that time. So
all right. Cool. What are some of the important lessons you've learned that you might be taking with you from this project to the next one?
I need more money. More shooting days, more rehearsal days. Do it. Get what you want. I know it never happens, and so I know that it's not going to happen, but you gotta fight for it. You gotta fight for fight for the money, fight for whatever you got. It's a challenge all the way through. So, and I like working with people that are creative and willing to work with you. You don't want to have a riff on the set, and that could be the most damaging part of your film. And so, when you have a creative team that works with you, it's just magic. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, are there any other directors or actors you're lining up work with in the near future?
Spielberg comes to mind.
Uh-huh.
Scorsese comes to mind. But of course, I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
Yes. But I do like genre directors like Isaac Florentine, Jesse Johnson, Ernie Barbarash, those guys. I look up to them, and I think they're great. And if they said, "Hey, Jino, come and do this scene for me," or "I want to direct your film," yeah, I jump on it. But I don't want to approach them also until I have some. You got to have a package first. You got to get everything, your finance, talent, and all that stuff packaged together before you approach something like that. So you could. Otherwise, you're just dreaming.
Yeah.
You got to get all your ducks in a row.
You want to wow them first.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's look on like the bigger screen now. Are there any particular film titles you're looking forward to this year?
I still haven't seen John Wick 2, and I was finally free 2 weekends ago, and my wife said, "Hey, go watch any movie you want." All right, because she was doing something with my daughter and stuff. So I said, "Okay." I searched online. I searched everywhere for John Wick 2, and they're not playing anymore. So I go, "Oh, okay, next." So I went down the line and said, "Okay, Logan, I gotta go see that." And I finally found it, and I really enjoyed that. Very sad.
Oh yeah.
But I really enjoyed the film, and it stuck to its guns. It didn't have a Hollywood ending, which I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that movie's great.
But right now, I don't have anything in mind, unless you know something, maybe something that I don't know.
I mean, I did really do a write up on the Power Rangers movie. It just came out. It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. We're checking out. I mean, I'll spare going into geeking out too much, but I was a fan of it, and I thought it was actually a pretty decently well made movie. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I to me, I was too old for it. You know what I mean? So, right, like Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, I thought it was just for me. I'm just too old for it. But okay, I'll watch it when my kids get older enough. But I heard a lot of good things about Power Rangers. So yeah, definitely we'll check that out.
Cool. All right. So this one's gonna be a little bit more off topic. All right. So tonight I'm taking a girl out to dinner. What type of place should I take her to? Help me out.
Right. Okay, so I don't know where that came from, but I will help you out as much as I can. Okay, so this is absolute truth. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta take girl out to dancing.
Okay.
Dancing. Girls love dancing. Okay, and guys don't. Right? And if they only go dancing so they can meet girls, right? So take her out dancing and nice dinner, and you'll have a great time.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't know dancing, what I highly recommend is go look up your local venues and learn dancing.
Okay.
Swing dance, salsa dancing. And that's how I met my wife.
Okay.
Salsa.
That's a solid piece of advice. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's gonna help me out here. Alrighty, so this is the last bit. I mean, do you have any last words for our readers or fans of your work?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm actually doing another follow-up. This one's a follow-up to Fist 2. Not the second one, the first one. Mm-hmm. And so this is in another rewrite stage. Is that we're going to shoot it as a TV pilot. It's follow-up to Ken Min, right? And his proteges and his martial artists are do-gooders, right? Crusaders, trying to help people out and do the right thing. And with all the corruption in the city and so on, and so these guys are the underdogs, and they get one. They help their friends out, and once they help their friends out, their friends are involved with the mob, and that really pulls them and drags them into the dark underside. And they have to fight their way out of this situation, and when that happens, it just embroils them into deeper and deeper underbelly of the dark world of San Francisco. It's called Wages of Sin.
Okay, cool.
We're working on that right now. Hopefully, we could shoot this in the summer. Oh. So it's going to happen soon, I think.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing the end result. But hopefully it all comes together and y'all can start shooting. Alrighty, so I gotta go polish off my dancing shoes for tonight. But
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that basically wraps us up. So thank you, Jino, for coming out and just spending time with us and answering our questions. Folks, with watching Film Combat Syndicate, I am David Van Tassell here with Jino Kang, and we're just gonna wrap up. So y'all have a great day. All right.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Here. Right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.